So you may ask yourself, well, this is not consistent with what I normally hear about in the news. And here's just one of many ways in which this could be explained. But the bottom line is most of the news stories refer to what's called the list price or the sticker price for medications. But the reality is that no one, that I'm going to repeat again, no one pays list price. The insurance companies go through a process of negotiation with the so-called PBMs, the pharmacy benefit managers, and they obtain rebates for this. These rebates can be quite substantial. Three companies just recently released an estimate of the rebates. That would be Merck, Janssen, and Lilly, and they went from 42% to 51%. Okay, so this is very, very important. When you see a pharmacoeconomic study that does not include rebates, you're using a hypothetical scenario that would just describe what would happen if everyone would pay list price. And again, we're going to go further into how that breaks down. Now, this is a trend over time and what has happened based on the IQVIA database. You see that it's projected that for the next 4 years, the increase will be less than 2%. And for the past year, the net increase too as well is right about in the same range. Now, a few years back, the increases were higher. They were as high as 4%. So that is clearly above inflation, but it's far away from what you would normally hear in the news stories. And if you look at these graphs, there has been a slight decline in the yearly increase of prices for medications. Now, there's multiple reasons why this could be happening, and it's a very, very modest decrease, but it's something that you can see there nevertheless. I do fear, and this is one of my last comments in today's presentation, I do fear that if indeed public pressure or other pressure that is exerted on pharmaceutical companies ultimately results in a more conservative, a more bearish environment, we might have less interest from investors. I will make the case at the end that a bullish environment where there has been high reward but also high risk actually has attracted investors. And investors may not be like you and I. Investors are interested in whatever would have a good yield in the economy. So if it turns out that pharmaceutical products are not associated with that high reward in time, well, people then probably would consider telecommunication, transportation, and other things. So again, what you see there is a gap between what's the list price and the net price, and that gap is at play with regards to the rebates. Now, you should know there's a lot of practices that are considered obscure. This all occur in a confidential manner, including the fact that sometimes patients are quoted co-pays that are based out of the list price, not the net price. And this is one of the changes that the current administration proposes, is to eliminate sort of the black box effect of the gap between the list prices and the net prices for medications.